we go. All right, nice one. Okay, so for the recording, this is the Archives group meeting on the 23rd of August 2023. And we've just looked at the agenda item for this meeting, and the only two things on the agenda are going through the board and talking about bounties, which is actually on the board, but we might have more to discuss. So, Ambassador's GitBook. I've added a note already on this because I know I'm a bit clunky about writing while I'm also going through the board. So all I've got to say is that onboarding group is revamping the Getting Started channel at the moment, including a current list of guilds and work groups. So I'm suggesting that I just add that to the Ambassador's GitBook when it's done. And the discussion on roles and levels, I think, is still ongoing. So I suggest that we just add the current situation, which, as far as I know, is people get involved. They formally apply with a form that is, I think, yet to be designed when they're ready, and then they're voted in. So that's the kind of update on that, because I don't think we've done any other work on it because everything was just in flux and it seemed silly to change it all when it was probably likely to change again. So does that seem all right? Because I think we do need to do, I do need to do some sort of update on that GitBook. So yeah.
I think that's good enough because people still have to get everything in place. So something is better than nothing, eh?
I suppose so. I mean, it sort of feels to me like that Ambassador's GitBook, it should be really current, but it feels like it's always changing. And I just wonder really what's the best way to update it. But maybe that's something to think on.
Yeah, maybe like a quarterly thing. But I suppose we'll get into the groove as we go.
Yeah. No, that would be good, actually. Yeah, quarterly is probably enough. Publicising the archive workgroup meetings. I've been a little bit rubbish on that this last fortnight. So we did talk about the idea of an simple onboarding task and the need to show how, and we said we'd all think about it. And I've had to think about it, and I think Stephen spoke to you about the idea of bounties. So I've got that on the agenda, basically. So I guess we could just go straight to that. This may need more discussion than running through it here. So maybe we just mention it here and talk about it when we've gone through the rest of the board. I don't know. But what I've said is it'd be good to get community members doing some actual archiving. Because, realistically, it's not sustainable for us to do it forever, I suppose. And it'd be better to onboard new people. So I've actually not archived for a couple of weeks. So there are some meetings there for other people to archive. And I'm kind of thinking this might take a little bit longer than that. So maybe I'll pick up some of the slack and just keep like a week or two unarchived for whenever we're ready. I would suggest that archiving one meeting summary could be a task. And I wondered if we could do it via DWork bounties. I'd suggest $10 per meeting summary, because if you think there's maybe 30 to 40 summaries in a month, that's going to come to like 400 a month the most, and then people's work will have to be checked by us, so it should pay a bit less than us doing it ourselves. But I'm not 100% clear about how we work out the division between what we'd normally pay ourselves to do it and then taking out what people have earned as bounties and all that. So we just need to firm that up. But the issues I see is that people will need training before they can do it. And Stephen and I talked about the idea of a short how-to video, but it's going to depend on what the process actually is, because the thing is, people, as Stephen I think said to you, is people are going to need to be GitBook editors, but this costs. So in the end, they might only do one meeting, and it might end up being prohibitive because what it costs to make them an editor will be more than what we pay them. So I don't know. So there is an interface, according to Stephen, but it just means they don't get to use GitBook. They don't get to learn that. So I was thinking if someone was interested in doing it regularly, then we could add them as an editor then. But what have you got on this?
I'll have to build something, but it's not, it will be part of the, it will also go hand in hand with the onboarding. It can go hand in hand with the onboarding. So what we can do is this, the interface that I will build where people add meeting summaries. I can use that same application and just build another page where, say, people can take an onboarding task and it goes to a certain page where they would like do a little test. And then we can see if they created the correct format for the markdown. And if they pass this test, then we can let them update meeting summaries. So they can do these updates through this interface. They don't have to, we don't have to add members to the GitBook subscription. But it's not that difficult to build. And I think it's, I also told Stephen this whole thing we are building that will have this AI integration and all that. The first two parts will be capturing the data, and this could be one of those parts. So this can be one of the parts I first focus on. And then the processing the data so that the AI can work with it is, that's one of the last stages. We first need to capture the data. So it makes sense to work on this.
Yeah.
So we can just design a process that's smooth and experiment a little bit with it, and then people can just submit these summary, update the Git through this interface. Yeah.
Nice one. So what sort of time scale do you reckon it would take you to build this?
I can shift my focus to this now. I've done the initial setup, so I've got an idea. I might need to do a little bit more work there just to make sure everything is in place, and then I can start on this. But I think this weekend I'm going to spend time on this on this application again. So I'll definitely start on this page this weekend already. So I think I'll have a draft by maybe end of September or earlier, actually.
Well, let's say end of September, just
yeah.
But yeah, that's amazing.
I'll have a draft ready, and then we can just fine tune it. I'll show it to you guys, and we can fine tune it and then work on that process from dwork and how the whole flow needs to be.
Oh, okay. And it would, okay, cool.
And the other thing is this interface, people will log in with Discord. So once they've done the test and we see, okay, this person is capable, we can give them access to this other page where they can do these updates. So at least it's only people that have passed the test can do these updates.
Okay, so what I'm thinking is that if they were to do it straight into GitBook, then we just have to approve their changes, and that would be the test. So with this one, it's that they do a test first to see that they're doing it correctly, and then they go ahead without it being approved, right?
No. We can first approve the test, so they can do the test. We can just start. I think we need to design that test process a little bit.
See, what I prefer is that we verify each one that they do, because I think it does take you a bit of time to get used to it. So you can think you've got it, and then you can kind of bugger it up. So I think we should kind of probably everything that's done as a bounty, we should approve before it goes on to the actual GitBook, rather than approving a test and then letting them just go ahead. And it just means we can give people any support that they need as well. So
okay, then I'll just make that part of the design process, so they can submit it, and then one of us can go and look at it and just approve it, and then it will update it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because what I'm thinking then is that if anybody, people might just do it a couple of times just for the sake of the bounty. But
Yes.
if they actually are interested in doing it and they get into it, then we can add them to GitBook as editors. And, we don't want to do, we probably have to rethink if there's a lot of people that want to do it, but I don't think there will be somehow. So
Yeah.
if we're adding like 2-3 people, that's okay. If they're actually doing regular archiving, then that's brilliant, I think, and it's worth it. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, brilliant. So why is that not okay? So what I'm going to suggest then is that I'll catch up with the current archive that I've left and be sure to leave a couple of weeks to be done around the end of September.
Yes.
So that then, whenever it's ready to go, we've got some stuff for people to actually do, which would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that sounds amazing. Oh God, I do hate this where can I move my hide floating meeting controls? There we are. That's what I needed to do because I couldn't see what I was doing because my meeting controls were in the way of the bottom of my screen. Okay, so that's that, and that's brilliant. That sounds really cool, actually. What I didn't quite get is that how that ties in with what we're doing across the board with archiving and LLMs and all that stuff. How does it?
I need to process that data. And if they do it through an interface that I've designed, I get to control that data a little bit more,
Right.
as where if I pass it from GitBook, it's
right. So this means you can structure what they're submitting with the right kind of, heading levels and all that shit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just makes it easier for me.
What was I going to say about that? There was something I was going to raise about it. It'll come to me. All right, maybe let's just look on. I mean, the archive GitBook for August is next on the list, and basically I've left a couple of weeks with nothing done, so I will catch up with that and check what we have and haven't had. So nothing really to say on that. I'll just plow on with it. God, it's bothering me what I was going to ask you about.
Maybe the LLMs, something to do with LLMs.
Don't think it was. No, I mean, number one, this wasn't what I was thinking of, but there's also the issue of the kind of heading hierarchies and stuff that we're using.
Yes.
I've changed it I think I changed it in the beginning of July, and it feels like it makes more sense now. But I just wondered if you had an idea of how it needs to be, because then I can just start making it conform to what.
Yeah. I have noticed, but I have noticed July and August, those all look great there. So I can see there's consistency there. Yeah.
Nice one. So maybe if I change like May and June to fit the same structure, because
yes.
Yeah, all right. I should.
That would be great. Those last ones were perfect.
Nice one. That's excellent. All right, we've got archival workflow design, and I know that there's not a lot to say on this. I mean, we've got a draft here, but I think it has actually changed now because we're trying to implement the what do you call them? Templates. So yeah, I think I just need to kind of have a look at this and draft a new one.
Right.
Really,
Everything changes the whole
I
time.
know, I know.
Crazy.
But it's crazy, isn't it? Because before you can even implement something, it needs to
Yeah,
change. So it just feels
yeah,
so funny, really.
exactly.
And yeah, I think the main difference is the templates that we're suggesting. But
Yes.
yeah, I haven't really thought about what happens when meeting notes change, which is something Tivo raised before. But the other thing about this actually that I think is useful is when you implement, we talked about an actual interface for people to fill in their meeting template and all that. We won't
Yeah.
then have to use that meeting summaries channel anymore, which will be great. I mean,
Yes.
I do
Yeah.
think though, actually, what I've noticed is that people do look at that channel for an update on what's been going on in meetings they've missed. How
That's
how would they access it if we were
that's
using
the
your
thing.
interface?
We can still send if someone updates the meeting summary in the interface, we can send a message still.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I knew there was an answer. I couldn't remember
Yeah.
what you'd said, but yeah, that's great. I might just make a note of that actually.
That's the other thing I've been thinking about now is this we will create this interface for people to update the GitBook, but we also have this interface that where people will enter their meeting summaries. But
Yeah.
both of them are essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
So one of them might fall away eventually, like maybe just the people will just enter the meeting summaries. Unless the other one stays there. If someone has a whole other process of creating meeting summaries, then that person has to go
Mm.
get that somewhere and then enter it.
I mean, this is the thing, it could be integrated, couldn't it? Because if we structure these templates in your tool so that they are, parsed in the right way to suit what the back end of GitBook needs, then nobody
Yes,
will need to archive anything, will they? They'll add their meeting summary and that can be
yes.
automatically, yeah, so
That's
that's
yeah.
it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The rest will happen automatically. So I can start, but no, it's fine. I'll start with the other one first, because these templates we still have to. Those templates we can only finalize once we start experimenting with the LLM.
Right. That's
So
interesting because that's the way to kind of encourage people to use them, maybe because they're saying, well, it's experimental. You're helping us to refine this. So
yes, yeah,
that's good. I mean, I think the idea of doing bounties and all that stuff may be useful to onboard people or get people interested because it's a tool, it's a task that can give you a little bit of, it's not a lot of money, but it could give you a little bit and it might get you into it. So
yeah.
worth
I
doing.
think
But
yeah, no, there'll
I'll
definitely
personally
be.
be glad when we
Yeah,
don't have to, because it's a constant thing to have to think, oh well, who's going to do it if I don't do it? And I've got
yes,
to
yes.
find the time to do it. And yeah. Mm.
No, I think that's good. So
So I
we
think
will
maybe what
definitely.
I could say, if I just go back up to the bounties thing, I can
Yeah,
just add that we're doing this, it's temporary and it's mainly as an onboarding task, because I
yeah,
think that's good to note.
yes. I think there will definitely be people that pick up
Do
these bounties.
you think people would do it for a tenner?
Yeah, yeah,
I just think people will just go, oh no, I can't be bothered. If it was 50 quid, I'd do it, but
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, maybe they will. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of ties into guidance notes and templates, doesn't it? That we need to promote it. I haven't shared it yet at all,
And
which is a bit rubbish. So
yeah, I
yeah,
wonder.
I will do. But when we share them, we emphasize that we're asking people to join the experiment kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Help us test it. Since we went through it all last meeting, I've kind of realized that there is another slightly different type where people kind of give their agenda items and their action items. So I might just tweak the templates to do that. It's basically because I've been documenting the onboarding group, and I realized that what I'm doing doesn't fit with any of my templates. So it was a bit, oh, right.
Oh,
So
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I'll have to tweak, I think, the second one to make that a thing.
Yeah.
So yeah. I mean, I'm wondering whether to ask the work group leads individually, or do you want to trial this? Or whether to raise it in a town hall. And I think it'd be kind of good to do both. Do you ever get to the ambassadors town hall on Tuesday?
No, no, I always miss. I need to go at some point. Goodness gracious.
I mean, I wondered if we could pick a Tuesday that you can do, and if you could be there to kind of help me explain it. That, I mean, what I might do is draft a slide or something, and I
Yes.
don't know, just kind of make it a bit of a thing. Maybe we could even do a breakout room, because I think they've talked about having breakouts in the town hall.
Okay.
So let's just say,
Yeah, that's fine. Uh, I don't have
maybe not
anything.
maybe not this coming Tuesday, I think, because I think I've got a clash. But we could look at the 5th of September, maybe. How are
Yeah,
you?
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Nice.
End of September, I'm gonna be away for a week.
All right, cool. Where
With
you off to? Anywhere nice?
I'm gonna go visit my one of my sisters stays in one of the neighboring countries,
Oh, cool.
and she's coming to visit. So I'm going to visit. I've got two sisters. I'm gonna go visit the other sister, and then
Oh, nice.
we'll all get together there.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so that means if we get it in way before the end of September, then we'll be all right.
Yes.
Wonderful. I mean, I just want to get people a little bit interested in it and show them where it will lead to. So basically, what we're saying is ultimately where using these templates leads to is automation of the whole archiving process, right?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Nice one.
Yeah. Yeah, uh, we can definitely do that. I think it will be good.
Nice. All right, so the next one on the list is LLMs. I sort of feel like we've said what we've got to say on this, really. Or is this the...
Yeah.
I mean, you were going to say what you were
It's
going to say under the other tools.
yeah, it goes hand in hand with the tool development as well.
Yeah, it does. All right, so I don't think we've got an update for that. Archive GitBook backlog, as far as I know, Stephen is kind of plowing on with it, but I don't think he's done anything on looking into Otter AI, but I think he's just going through it as and when he can.
Okay.
Meeting summaries from Ambassadors Town Hall. I'm not sure what to do about this, because we had a conversation about it when Peter was here in a meeting, and we kind of said,
Yeah.
yeah, we're gonna try and get copies of, and get meeting summaries and all that. And I don't think we have had. So this is for an update on Peter's return, as we said, but that
Yeah.
I think is next week. So yeah,
Okay.
it feels a little bit like I'm not sure where it's going and if we're going to get updates, but you know, we do our best. Right, the GitBook for July, I can't actually close this yet because I've had a bit of a week and I haven't done what I said I'd do on checking that all of these, if they're really no summary given. So I will,
Oh, yes.
I'll
Okay.
update that today and just go through it, and then we can close it next meeting. I wonder if we can close things outside of a meeting, because if I just go through it and tick them off, we probably could do, couldn't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or you can just leave the issue and then next meeting you just say it's done.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about getting the fund request in for that
Oh, okay.
before
Yeah, yeah.
next meeting, which will be,
Yes.
oh no, actually, oh no, because no, it's all right actually, because the next meeting is before the end of the quarter, and it'd just be nice to get it into the same quarter. So yeah, it's fine.
Yes.
We can do
Okay.
it next meeting. The quarterly report is just on the agenda to remind us that we need to do it. I wondered if, do you know if quarterly reports are going by the standard quarters, like, you know, January, February, March, April, May, June, or is it different for each work group? Do different work groups start in a different month? Like, you know, are some people doing May, June, July, August, September, October?
Ooh, I don't know, eh?
Because
I
like
think maybe,
I
yeah,
don't know,
I
I
think,
don't even know when we finished our last report. I'll have a
yeah,
look, but I think it's right that the due date is September the 30th. But
okay.
yeah.
That sounds right. I think I heard someone say new quarter is close. So
Oh
guessing.
yeah, I mean it is. But
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just wondering if people are doing quarterly reports to match the actual quarters, or if they're just doing any old 3 months.
yeah.
Can you think of anything that we should add to a quarterly report that we've been doing recently? I mean, I suppose we could add meeting summary templates.
Maybe for next quarter, I suppose we can add bounties.
But we won't have that done by September the 30th, will we?
Yeah, yeah. So
I
that's
mean, I
that will
suppose
be
we could
next quarter.
say beginnings.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, because we can add all the sort of reasoning and thinking that's been done. What else
yeah.
have we done? What will we have completed by then?
Um, I think that test will be complete.
Okay, yeah.
The test, and there will be a draft of the how to do
Oops.
updates into GitBook through this interface.
I'll put a maybe just in case.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's just a kind of memory aid to remind me what to include.
Yes,
All
okay.
right. Um, how to archive group meetings. How to archive group meetings. Um, yeah, I think we're a bit behind because Stephen's been a bit out of action. So I guess maybe when I send round the guidance notes, we can pick one. But I was wondering, we do video, and I just wonder, it feels like quite a large overhead to then timestamp the video. If we don't timestamp it, it's worse than useless. Nobody watches 2 hours of people rambling
Yeah, yeah.
about archives. Is it worth recording or not? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I wonder. Trying to think if there's an easy way to because we work through the board. We don't really work through an agenda.
Exactly. I mean, I think I'd still record anyway, because sometimes I don't fully remember what we've said, and because we're trying to manage the board and everything else, we don't always take the best notes. So it's good to have a recording to go back to. But
Yes.
for actual public consumption, I don't know if anybody's interested. So yeah, I might just add, let me see. Like, do we continue to make recordings public and timestamp them? Or is it too much overhead, considering not many people watch them? To be discussed. But yeah, I mean, because it's making us behind.
Yeah.
It takes time, and then the governance GitBook, there isn't really anything to say about that. We haven't done anything. So
you know what we can maybe do, but
I've missed tool development. Sorry, that's the main one I was looking for. I was like, where is it?
But the archive, just a quick one on the archive, how to archive the archive meetings. Maybe if we look at, if we maybe make it like practice to leave a comment on each issue, because we usually do that. Then at the end of the meeting, we can just look at the last comments on each issue and try and construct a meeting summary based off that.
Yeah, that's...
Someone will actually have to sit and do it. One thing that we do in process modeling is we rotate that responsibility. So each week someone else does it. So at the end of the meeting, you can do it the following day or whenever, but at least we have something to look at, so we can look at these comments and then.
Yeah, it's a really good point. And I know actually I haven't done that on everything, but
that's the other thing. Yeah, we don't always leave a comment, but
I mean, do you think it's valid to say, well, there is no comment to make? So then, say if you were looking at how to document this meeting, how to sum up this meeting, you'd just go, oh, well, there was nothing said in that meeting, so it's just not included.
Yeah. Or when you do the meeting summary, when you look at this issue and you see there was no comment, then you just don't mention it in the summary.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Or do we sort of put a heading for this date and then put no comment and document that there was? I don't think we need to do that, do we?
No, I think it's fine.
Okay. So I found it.
Okay. Yeah, I've added the issues there. You see the 14th and 15th I've had 2 updates. Then I can share my screen quickly.
Yeah, let me just unshare this. Hold on.
Let me see if I hope nothing breaks.
Oh, hang on. I've hidden my stop sharing. There we go.
Let me see. Okay. Screen. Can you see this?
Not just yet. Oh yeah, I can now. Yeah.
And this as well, eh?
Yep.
Okay, so
it's quite, I can't. Can you zoom in a little bit? Because I can't actually see the text.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one is quite. Okay.
That's it. Oh, yeah.
This is the database. So I've just done a few tests here. This
Yeah.
is the embedding it creates. So OpenAI, I use OpenAI's in where is this thing? Yeah, I use it. They've got a model that creates the embeddings. So I
I'm
managed to
sorry
get
I'm
that.
being thick, but what's
Yeah.
how do you mean embedding?
This embedding is so your vector database has got this, I think it's got like 1,500 dimensions. And this embedding is the coordinates. So when you feed this model any text whatsoever,
Yeah.
this model creates coordinates for that text. So it places it somewhere in this space.
Yeah.
And when what will happen is when the user asks a question, it will take that same question and also put it in the space, and everything that's close to that question, it will pull all that information, and then I will process it and create another query. So these are just coordinates in that space. It's just to pinpoint everything related to that question. So I managed to get this up and running.
Nice.
So if you see here, I've made a little test. So we can have a look and see if it works. I hope it worked. Yeah, there's the new test. Okay.
Okay.
So you can see it created the coordinates, and these are just like the heading. So if it's a heading for a meeting summary, the heading would be the work group name, and this will be the content of the meeting. But I will also like maybe format this content a little bit. This is where the experimentation is gonna have to happen a little bit. So that is up and running. The other thing I did was I already added some of these meetings to the database. It's over here.
All right.
So I already did the API call to GitHub, and I managed to capture all the weeks, but I noticed like February, it's still a little bit buggy, so I'm gonna have to. February is supposed to have content, so I don't know why it didn't.
It might have been structured differently because I think that was part of the backlog. So
yes, like you said, you only started doing those headings in July or something.
no, it might not have even had any headings. I mean, maybe Stephen even got to February yet. Let me have a look and see what we've got.
That's maybe why I didn't capture the content. Because these, you can see July, I've managed to capture. So I've already like organized it. So you've got the workgroup name, you've got the date, and then you can see the meeting summary. I just need to do some formatting on that embed URL. I'll just make it more readable for the system. So I've managed to do this. I just need to look into those headings in February.
I'm looking at it and there is a weirdness. It goes from week 6 to week 10 with nothing in between. So I think February might not have even been properly.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got week 5 and week 6 in February. And then it goes week 10, week 11. So yeah, there's definitely.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, it's just that I think where it became current rather than backlog was May. So I'm guessing that it's just that Stephen hasn't got to that bit of the backlog yet.
Okay, cool. What I'll do is I'll just I'm gonna experiment with these latest months, and then we can just go back later. Eventually, when we've got a process and we know, okay, this structure works, this is how we need to feed it to the database, then we can go through all these old months and make sure it passes correctly. but it will still be some time before we get there. We'll first build these other interfaces. So we have some time to. I can even help with that when we get to that point to make sure those summaries are in the right format.
Nice one. I mean, is it just about the heading levels, or is there anything more to it?
Yeah, I think it was the date is 2 hashes and the workgroup name is 3 hashes. I think it was
that might have been something that I have changed actually. Why don't we have a look?
Yeah, let's
everything's very slow today. I'm just waiting for the back end to actually load. Archive. All right. If I just do a quick share screen, I can show you. Yes. So at the moment, what I'm doing is I have got the date and the name of the. Yeah. So yeah, you're right. But then I think back in July, it wasn't like that. I'm sorry, back in June, it wasn't that way. Or maybe it was a fact. Oh no, I was doing that.
yeah.
So maybe it was May that it wasn't like that, because I know I did change it.
Yeah, as long as those dates and workgroup names stay in that format, then it will work. I'm pretty sure.
That's cool. Yeah, we have. I mean, there's definitely something that I changed, but I should have kept a record of exactly what I changed, shouldn't I? Really, but yeah.
The one thing we need to look out for is if they post a meeting summary, that one of the headings in that summary, it shouldn't have the same amount of hashes as the date or the workgroup name, because then it will confuse the parsing.
So the date needs to be like the top level, and then the name of the group is one level down.
Yes. And the summary, it shouldn't be any of those, like if you look at the raw text, there's 2 hashes in front of the date, I think, and 3 hashes in front of the workgroup name. So in the summary,
see, I think I've changed that now. Let me just see what it actually is. But this is like how I was doing it in May, and for some reason I can't remember why it didn't work for me. But
yeah, it's like heading 1 or heading 2.
That's a heading 1.
Yes. And a heading 2.
And that's a heading 2. And then we had like for things like, context and detail and all that was a heading 3.
3, yeah,
so
that's fine.
Theoretically, that should be fine, but for some reason, I'm sure there was a reason why that didn't work anymore. Let me just look at. So what I've got here is still the same, which puzzles me because I know I changed it.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think Stephen might have been in and updated so that it fits this, which is right.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, now, yes. Yeah, okay. Yeah.
As long as the meeting summaries themselves mustn't have heading 2s or ones. Otherwise, it will get confused.
I see. I mean, let's just have a look at what happened in July. Okay. God, we just got nothing. We just got no, we didn't get anything. No, there was no meeting. No, they didn't say anything. All right, so that's all right. So everything in the actual summary itself is a heading 3. So yeah, that's
But
right.
look at February 2022. You'll see there is content and the headings also looks fine, but for some reason it
Do you
didn't
mean
pass.
22 or 23?
20 oh shit, 23, sorry. February.
I just thought, God, did we have an archive that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is some content, and it's odd actually, because
And it looks
but you see what I mean with it going week 5, week 6.
Oh shit,
To
yeah.
week 10. So because
But if you
February's only short, so it should be week 5, week 6, week 7, week 8. So where the fuck is week 9?
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, what happened there?
But yeah, the actual content that's in there is some I noticed, but
You see, that also looks
it does,
fine.
doesn't it? I mean, okay, so the date is a heading 1, and then the name is a heading 2.
Yeah. And it for some reason it didn't pass, but I'll look
Odd.
into that. Maybe something else is
No, look, these little headings are actually plain text. So rather than
that's fine.
yeah, that won't affect you, but
So,
they do need
yeah,
changed.
yeah.
Mm,
That one needs to be, yeah. But I'll look into it. I don't know, maybe something else went wrong.
yeah,
I
weird.
don't know why.
Interesting though. God, it's very different, isn't it?
It does look
It's
very
very
different, yeah.
explanatory. There's a
Yeah.
link and it says, please click this link using your mouse. You can check the link for joining Process Guild. Wow, look at this. And these are just images, aren't they? They're not the high-res images that we've been using.
My goodness. Okay.
Goodness me. And yeah, we've just got links to Miro there. And CryptPad. Wow.
Gracious.
I don't know. If you didn't know, you could
Maybe
also
I think
become...
there's something on this page maybe threw off the parser.
perhaps. Yeah, because it does seem like there's
It's a lot of
a lot of images that I think are just images. They're not links of any kind, or
yeah.
yeah. Mm.
But I'll look into that. I'll just run some tests on that specific week and see what's causing the problem.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Oh, I bet it's the Google Calendar. I bet that's the problematic link. Oh, that's been driving me mad because I didn't really get why it wasn't working. I get it now, but
Oh, okay.
it's quite
My goodness.
Oh, there's slides in there as well. There's
Yeah.
goodness me. Now, can I just exit without merging?
Yeah. Just click on the left on another work group, like governance work group.
Yeah.
There, yeah.
Righty. I'll stop sharing. But yeah, it's mystery where week 9's gone.
Yeah. What happened there?
Oh God, imagine if we've got it all out of sync and they all need to move up one.
Yeah, it's possible.
But no, it is weird though, because I know that I looked back at a previous week and went, that structure isn't working. And I changed it, and I can't now see what I've changed because they all look as if they are the same. So unless Stephen has updated them for me, which would be very nice, I don't know what has gone on.
Yeah, because they look the same,
Mm,
but that format is perfect.
right.
You
Cool.
stick to that, then it'll work.
Yeah. Oh, this is good though. That it's doing it and it's finding.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
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 So I will then just start focusing on that interface so we can
Yeah.
start capturing and create bounties.
Cool. I mean, we're nearly